Robert Brown Elliott was a man America never intended you to remember. A man whose voice once thundered through the halls of Congress so powerfully that even his enemies sat frozen in their seats. A man who walked into Reconstruction politics with the confidence of someone who knew exactly who he was, Kamwanya, and exactly what he came to do. Born in 1842, likely in Liverpool, England, Elliott arrived in the United States with a sharp mind, a disciplined spirit, and a mastery of language that would soon make him one of the most formidable orators of the 19th century. He settled in South Carolina, a state still trembling from the end of slavery, and immediately stepped into the fight for Black political power. Elliott wasn't just educated, he was brilliant. He spoke with precision, clarity, and a kind of moral force that made even seasoned politicians nervous. And in 1870, when he was elected to the South Carolina House of Representatives, the state had no idea what was coming. By 1871, Elliott rose to become Speaker of the South Carolina House, one of the highest-ranking Black lawmakers in the nation. He was young, he was fearless, and he was determined to build a South where Black citizenship was not a theory, but a fact. But his defining moment came in 1874. That year, Congress debated the Civil Rights Act, a bill designed to guarantee equal access to public accommodations. Opposing it was former Confederate Vice President Alexander H. Stephens, a man who once declared that slavery was the cornerstone of the Confederacy. Stephens walked into Congress expecting to dominate the debate. Instead, he met Robert B. Elliott. Elliott rose from his seat, calm, composed, and ready. And then he delivered one of the most devastating speeches in American political history. He dismantled Stephens point by point, exposing the hypocrisy of a man who once fought to keep Black people enslaved. He reminded Congress and the nation that freedom without equality was nothing more than a broken promise. And he declared that Black Americans would no longer accept second-class citizenship. Members of Congress stared in disbelief. Newspapers across the country printed Elliott's words. And for a brief moment, the nation saw what Black political leadership truly looked like. But brilliance alone could not stop the tidal wave that was coming. As Reconstruction collapsed, white supremacist violence surged, federal protections weakened, and Black lawmakers across the South were pushed out of office through intimidation, fraud, and terror. Elliott fought back as long as he could. He served as South Carolina's Attorney General. He continued to speak, to write, to challenge the lies America told about itself. But by the late 1870s, the Reconstruction dream had been violently dismantled. Robert B. Elliott, once one of the most powerful Black politicians in the nation, faded from public life. He died in 1884 at just 41 years old, his legacy buried under decades of deliberate erasure. And like so many Black leaders of Reconstruction, Robert B. Elliott was deliberately erased from America's memory, not by accident, but on purpose. They buried these stories for a reason, because once you know how Black power rose, you can see exactly how it was taken away. And once you see the blueprint, you can recognize every version of it still being used today. This isn't just history, this is the manual. And the fight didn't end in Reconstruction, it just changed clothes. If this episode opened your eyes, don't let the story stop with you. Share it, talk about it. Challenge the silence that kept these men hidden. This is Black Justice Untold. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.